So, welcome to episode 35 of the Zeens and Roger Crochet Vlogcast. I am Rosina and I am here to talk about crochet, as always, and anything else that may take my fancy. So, let's begin straight away. I have no idea what order I'm going to talk about things in, none at all. So I think I'll probably just look around me because I'm surrounded, and I'll pick something, check my notes maybe, which are just scribbles, and see how we go from there. And my notes tell me, the first thing I want to tell you is that there is a free pattern available in Olin and magazine that I've designed, and it's out now. Olin and is a magazine that's based in Ireland, and you may know about them already. I'm going to be fiddling with this eye today because there's something in it. It is an online magazine and it's free. So sign up to it and get, I think it's quarterly, so it's not like you get bombarded with emails all the time if you sign up. A quarterly online magazine, and it has knitting patterns, crochet patterns, yarn reviews, book reviews, articles about things pertaining to yarn crafts and other crafts as well, I think, and an all-round general kind of fibre magazine. And seeing as you're watching a crochet video, fibre is probably your thing. I've written a blog post about the pattern, so which I'll put in the show notes, and there's a link directly to the free pattern in that blog post. I will put links to Olin and I'll put links to that blog post. The pattern I don't have here because I sent it off to Laura and Deirdre, and it's a granny stitch market bag. Ha! It's got a round bottom, and it's then worked up with a handle at the top, and it's done with Stylecraft Classique cotton, I think. I made it months ago and I can't remember, but it's a nice, seeing as market bags are all the rage at the minute, it's a good one and it's free, as I've said, so go check it out. It's a really nice make, actually, super quick and fun to do, and I made one and I instantly wanted to make another one again because I wanted to play around with the stripes and stuff, because it's got 3 different colours in it. And when I sent the pattern, one of the girls made, one of the women, okay, not girls, one of the women behind Olin and magazine, I think it is probably Laura who crochets, or can crochet, and she's made another version with different colours and altered the order of the striping. It's a helicopter. It's not Prince Charles, he flew over yesterday, not today. Not I saw him before. Oh, so it was really loud. That's flying directly over. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. It's gone now. It was very low, very close, and it's thrown me. I'm off. I don't know what I was talking about. The granny bag. I want to make another one. I want to play around with the colours, but whether or not I get around to it, I don't know. But it would be nice to have more stripes, different placement of the colours. Go and have a look. So that's the first thing. And I think I've talked about all I need to talk about it. But as I said, I've been thrown off track, so I don't actually know. I'll find out when I watch it back, won't I? Next thing, what should I talk about next? I've been doing my striped bags, so I'm doing this because I'm fretting. I've been doing my striped bags, but not as much as I'd hoped. I put a neon zip in this one, which I really like. Did I line it? I've forgotten. Oh, I think I did. I lined it with the fabric I bought at the craft festival a month or two ago. So that is now a bag to use. I haven't started using it yet, and I don't know what to use it for because I have got so many bags, it's ridiculous. So many. I reckon that in close proximity to me here, I've got this one, I've got this one, this is not a handmade one, this, I've handmade that, I've got a handmade bag here, I'm a project bag hoarder, so it would seem, or even these sorts of bags, which are, there's my pencil case, my notions bag, there's a bag over there, there's bags down here, my phone's just gone off, project bag, project bag, project bag. I don't need to make any more bags. Another one, I'll talk about that again in a minute because I've talked about it before in the past. I don't need this, but I like it, and I think it might just be one that I will look at from time to time because I like the colours and I like the stripes. Anyway, I have been working on more. I haven't finished any more, but I've just been working on different colour combinations and different yarns so that I can write it up and maybe put it out as a pattern, because I had some nice responses on Instagram when I posted a picture, and it would be nice to get it up as a pattern that you guys can buy. I've done this one, which I really like the colour combo of that one. That's going to be a bigger version, and it would be nice to be able to come up with a pattern with different variations and stuff, but it's not a priority, and it's just going to be something I pick up and work on a little bit at a time. But I've done charts. I've got 3 different charts that I've drawn up, and here's the front cover already. Striped bags. I need a better name than that. That's not their final name, but it's just the beginnings of coming up with something that may in the future become a pattern for sale. I'm hoping that it does, because I've worked quite a lot on it. I've made a few versions, so in playing with all those bags I've buried half the stuff I wanted to talk about. In order to make these, I bought some new cotton because I think I was moaning that I didn't have enough colours to play with and to work on different kinds of striping and different colour combinations and whatnot. So I bought a load of new colours, and some of these I've had for a while, but mostly it's new Drops Muscat for a DK cotton. I bought a few more of those to go with the ones I had because they were on sale on some online shop. I think there were a couple of different shops that had Drops cotton sales. I don't know if they've still got them, so I won't mention what the websites are. And I got a load of Drops Paris as well, which is the Aran weight cotton. And the Muscat I think is mercerised, the Paris isn't. But I want to play around with all of these so that I come up with some nice designs, stripy things. It's really hard to come up with different combos. I mean, that looks nice, but it's not me. And it's hard to come up with 3 bags that all complement each other and kind of go together and aren't just sort of arbitrary and complementary. I don't know, sure. So I bought a load of cotton, and it was, I think, one of, I don't know which one was which, but one was 65p a ball and one was 85p a ball. So I think I spent 20 quid and bought, which I could have bought more, I suppose. But I thought 20 quid was alright. I could stop there. Next up in my random choosing of things that I can talk about, I've been having a bit of a tidy up, and in doing so I came across colour palettes that I'd made up to do the Geo Rainbow C2C blanket. And what I did at the time was crochet little granny squares together to see if the colour combinations work together. This was one palette plus a couple of other colours that I'd stuck on, and this was another colour palette plus another couple of stuck on the end. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. Yeah, there's 12 in total, and each one was 12 squares this side, 12 squares that side, and I had 2 little palettes of 14 colours. And I took some of the squares off, and then I've sewn the 2 palettes together. And I'm going to put a zip on and make yet another bag. I think I'm going to have a sample sale at some point. It's ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. I've got too many bags. It's hard though, because when you only make 1 or 2 of something, you want to keep it just so you've got that thing near you, so you can check it if you ever want to make something similar, or want to make an upgrade to the design, or I want to have something so I can grab it and go, aha, that's the construction of it. Oh, those are the colours I chose. Oh, that's the yarn. But I need to get right. I can't keep keeping everything. I just can't. Anyway, another bag. I've got a zip, and I'll attach that, and then I'll line it. And then who knows. But this is Paintbox Aran acrylic, because that's what I used to make the C2C blanket with. And then some of the leftovers went into this bag, which I've talked about in a previous episode. But the reason I'm getting it out and showing you is because I did actually undo the lining. I've undone the lining, and let's see if I can show you. Because I interfaced it and lined it, but I forgot to have it so that there was nice fabric you could see through the holes as well. So I've had to go in and put a third lining. Initially, there was just this navy blue, which has an interfacing attached to it. I've since gone in and added this purple one and sewn through the handles, through the crochet and that fabric, which I hadn't done before. It was just so the handles were just sewn onto the crochet, which I think would be a mistake. So I've reinforced it through that lining fabric, which I will hide, ow, just poked myself with a pin, which I'll hide with the original lining, which I'm going to hand sew back on. So I've done that. That is a job that I've been meaning to do for a long time. And because I'm going to Southampton tomorrow, day after tomorrow, my sister's going to be there, so this is for her. So I figure I should like have it finished in time to take and give to her. And then I want to make another one as well, maybe for me, because I need another bag. Yeah. Next up, this is all very exciting. I've made a teeny tiny granny stripe blanket. This is my swatch for a bubble tutorial, which I might record this afternoon, because if I don't, it's not going to get done for 2 months. You'll find out, I suppose, whether or not I do it. It depends, because it's 11:30 and I was supposed to hit record at 9:30 and I didn't actually get my arse in gear until 11 o'clock. Whoops. So I'm way behind, and I want to watch Game of Thrones reruns. I'm in that frame of mind. I started watching it, sidetrack, last week because I realised that I'd only seen all the series once, and that's not enough for me. I like to go for it and watch them again, and maybe even again. I've seen Buffy 3 times. Not for about 10 years though, and I don't think I'll ever watch it again. That's it now, done. But Game of Thrones is in a league of its own, isn't it? I can't compare the Buffy with GOT. Sorry, where is this going? Oh, that's what I want to hide away and watch that. I'm on season 4. So bobble tutorial at some point. I'm aware it looks a bit skewy, but the tutorial won't be for the granny stripe. I will refer to somebody else's granny stripe pattern because that's been done before. It's the bobble edging I want to show you on the tutorial, not the blanket itself. But I won't just sort of say chuck it. I will refer you to other patterns. I've already said this, why am I repeating myself? So yeah, I've got another couple of WIPs somewhere. Oh, like seriously just started yesterday, so they're puny. I've lost the hook. Oh, so I bought this at Stitch Fest Southwest in November, and I'm terribly sorry, but I don't know what it is or who it's by. I could find out, I suppose, but I think that it's unbelievable. I'm trying to rummage through my thingies, but can't find it. Yeah, I don't know what the name of it is, but I remember seeing it and going, oh, I love it, that's for me. It's got pink neon splashes in it, black, orange, pink, bit of yellow. I'm fairly certain it's unbelievable, but I don't know what their brand logo looks like, so I'm just rummaging through a load of labels without actually seeing anything. The chances are it's going to be a superwash merino with a bit of nylon in it. It's a 4-ply. And it works up like this, if you can see that, which is interesting. And you can see I've done so little, it's ridiculous. I don't think I've got enough here to be able to judge it, but it works up differently to how I imagined it would. It looks like it's got more, like on here it doesn't look like, it looks like it's mostly cream, but when you look at it like this, it's quite heavy on the colour. So that's interesting. I didn't think that would happen, but I think that might be to do with the fact that it's crochet, because because it takes up more stitches, all that colour is going to be more concentrated, closer together because of the nature of the stitches. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to, oh, I've just started unpicking it. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be because I don't know for sure. Literally this idea came to me about 2 nights ago and I got overexcited and started, but that needs work, and in actual fact I might frog it and start again because it's a bit, there's some areas where it's quite tight and I need to make it stretchier than it is. And then I got tangled up, and I got a little tiny 10-gram mini from Hedgerow Yarns when I ordered from them in May, because I bought myself a birthday skein. And literally I've made that because that's going to be I think the third shawl in the Brioche series. And I just wanted to have a play around. It's gonna be the start of a swatch. I'm not going to tell you what shape it's going to be, but I can tell you that I'm going to use, if you can see this, all of those. That's all my leftovers from several projects. It's a mixture of 4-ply and sport weight, and I'll just whack them all together because I'm not fussed about that. And I think it's going to have to be random. And this is all the colours. These are all the yarns that I was going to use for my long story shawl. I'm not going to make that anymore. In fact, I frogged half of it and just chucked the other half somewhere. I don't know where it is. But yeah, I need to swatch and find out if my idea is going to work, because it might not even work. But I've got all my fluff. I've got some fluffy stuff too. That's going to go in there, and I'm sort of thinking that these colours are very Stephen West actually, and I wonder if it'll work as his shawls and designs always seem to work when he does random colour palettes, or whether or not it's just going to look awful, because when I've tried to do this sort of thing before, long story, it looked rubbish. It just didn't work. I think I tried to be too clever by making it making a colour order, whereas this is going to be very little thought, other than that if the balls are small then they go at the beginning of the shawl, and if they're big they go at the end, because it's going to gradually work its way out, sort of like a crescent but not quite. But I want to experiment with that, and the trouble at the minute is that I want to try everything, and it's really hard to choose which thing to work on, and so I'm picking one thing up and starting it, putting it down, starting another immediately, and I've got too many things on the go, and I'm not very good at that, so it would seem it doesn't feel very comfortable, especially when it's literally things like they're that small. I mean, how about I establish this one properly before I kick off with this one? I see this one, actually I'm going to frog because I've already messed it up, because I was going to play around with the stitches and I didn't, i.e. I think I need to do some sort of back loop only type malarkey, and I didn't do back loop only with that. I went through both stitches. Right. So where are we right now? So I've talked about WIPs. I've got another WIP, one more WIP that I can show you, and then we'll move on. You go in that bag. And then I can talk about other things. I'm not done yet. Oh no. Right. You. Shall I frog you as well? I'll think about it. I think I need to start it again now. Okay, where are we? Final WIP. And then I'll tell you my finished objects, which you've already seen, but there's a reason I need to show you. So this one, which I do actually, maybe I should just crack on with this. Excuse those terrible bits of thread that look ugly. Harvest Moon is taking shape. This is John Arbon 4-ply knit by numbers, and it's lovely. 100% merino, very, very soft. I'd be interested to see how much it fuzzes up though with time and wear. So far so good, but it's beautifully soft. This is how I do my increases, a la Deanne. That's a technique I picked up from her, and actually it's brilliant because I don't want to use stitch markers, to have to keep on unclipping them and clipping them back on into a different place and repeat that. I don't want to do it, so this works for me and I will be sticking with it and using it in my own designs as a recommendation. I hope that's okay. It's not like design stealing, is it? It's just a method that makes absolute perfect sense, so why wouldn't you do something that makes life easier for yourself? Is that okay, Deanne? So that's Harvest Moon, and it's I wasn't sure whether to do 2 colours or 3 colours for the main body. The third, it's going to have a third colour on the border, and I don't know whether to show you my swatch or not. It's going to have a third colour on the border, but for the main body it could have had, let me see if I can show you without showing you the border. I did do, it's not very big, did do 3 stripes, which makes it different, but it's the same. I mean, it's the same stitches, but the colour changes are different. Is that enough that you can see? What do you reckon? 3 stripes or 2? In an ideal world, I would make up both shawls so that people could see, but I haven't got the time, and I can't decide on the 3 colours for the other one. But anyway, I'm working on that, and it's nice, it's fun to work up. And I should probably concentrate on that and finish that before I embark on those other 2 I showed you. It's so hard, isn't it? And I'm too busy watching Game of Thrones to actually do some real work. It's terrible. The more pressure, the less the more I run away, basically. Let's talk pattern releases, because I've released 3 in the last 2 weeks. 3. Ridiculous. Pattern number one, I've released this one because the rights have reverted back to me, and this is my Geo C2C rainbow bag. It's a nice, it's like a proper knitting bag, isn't it? Granny style. And my Nana had loads of these. These were her sort of shaped project bags. She always had her knitting in one of these with these sorts of handles. But her handles would have been wooden, not pretend plastic ones. So I've released this one, and it's got 20% off until the 25th of July, as have the other 2. And it's funny because, oh, I'm not going to show you that. In here is this one as well. I don't know, I could release this one soon as well, which was in Simply Crochet magazine, pencil case. But I haven't yet. Oh, same lining, huh? I don't know whether to write that one up or not yet, or at all. I've got probably about 5 or 6 patterns that have been in magazines that I could release independently now, But it's just a question of finding time to do it, and also whether or not I like this one, but there's a couple of them that I don't like and probably won't bother at all releasing this pattern unless you've seen one and you want me to. Or I could release them just slowly and at my own pace. Just wondering what else is in here. Oh, socks. This is just, obviously, I've just stuffed things in here just to put them out of the way. The next pattern I've released, it is out, and that is Smoke on the Water. Smoke on the water. Da, 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 da. Sorry, I don't sing. I don't sing. Right, what I wanted to say about this shawl is that although the V, the triangle, is shallower than the original Holy Smokes, it's still a massive shawl because I've used almost 1,000 meters of 4-ply yarn to make it. It's still enormous and it still reaches down past your bum quite easily. So I was just worried that I'd given the impression that it was super shallow and therefore only useful as a scarf. It's a shawl. However, you don't have to make it this big if you don't want to. Oh. If you wanted to, you could knock off this last cross treble repeat in this bit and do the border here and make it smaller. I think if you were to do that, it's probably a bit less mahoosive. Sorry, I don't like mahoosive. I don't know why I said it. It would, yes, it would be a shawlette then, I suppose, wouldn't it? But I wouldn't sort of stop it earlier than that, because then I think it'd probably be no shawl at all. It would just be a weird bandana or something. Oh God, I don't know where that would go. On your pet dog. But yeah, you could easily just finish it here and put the border on this one instead of doing that there. But I wanted to point that out because I didn't want you to think that it was something that it wasn't. But the pattern for this is now out on Ravelry, and it has a discount of 20% until the 25th of July. And I am done with that. I am done with the cross trebles now. It's had 2 shawls and it is ticked off my list. And I've got the opportunity to use a Shapepiece whirl, which I had wanted to use for a long time. So I'm glad I've done that. The gradient is smashing. I had seen, not wanting to be mean to other gradient yarns, but I'd seen other ones which is not gradient. In my opinion, it's just a colour changing yarn. They call themselves gradient, but when you stop abruptly between shades, I don't like that. I want this nice gradation. That's not a word, I don't think. I like the graduation. Is that appropriate? I like the blending of colour, going from one to the next to the next, in a nice subtle way, which the Shapepiece whirl does. But I'm over that now. I've done it. Been there, done that. Happy. Tick the box. It makes life so much easier though. But I'm afraid that I like playing with colours and putting colours together myself, not having it already planned out for me. But each to their own. I completely understand those that like those ones, because because I do. So that is Smoke on the Water. And then next I've got Rapture. Rapture. Hello, baby. Can you come and say hello? You can lick your bum. Yeah, she's licking her bum. Marcy. Come here. Oi, I'm up here. Come here. Marcy. Marcy. She's not having it. Here's my lap. Wow, I've never known her to ignore me to quite this extent. She's not even looking at me. She's been busy playing outside. Rapture has been released. Here we have a crescent shawl with a brioche style border, and I mentioned last time, didn't I, that I was reblocking it, and I steam blocked this border because I'd just wet blocked it before and probably not aggressively blocked it really either. But I would say that if you're going to make Rapture, then you need to be reasonably aggressive with this border. Don't stretch it so much that you kind of ruin that brioche, but it does curl. But I found when I steam blocked it, that killed it, and it's now got a really nice drape to it, which I probably can't show you here just by flapping it about. But the thing with this border is that because it's interlocking crochet, it does actually create quite a smushy fabric, which is different to the rest of the work. I don't think that's an issue. Doesn't bother me, especially with blocking. It's still got a drape on it. But if you could, I suppose, if you were going to make, you could make this in a thicker yarn and have that as two finer yarns to balance it out, but I don't think it needs that. And if you did that, if all of this was done in a thicker weight, it would be massive. It's not a small shawl, but it's not like a schlanket, but which is shawl blanket. But I don't think it needs it. Although there is a difference between the thickness of this and the thickness of that. I mean, do you think that looks, from what you can see here, it doesn't look obvious or stupid, don't think. I think it looks quite nice. I've written a blog post about this, so if you want to find out more information, hopefully the info is there. The pattern is on Ravelry, and it is a bit more money than all my other things because a huge amount of work has gone into this, a huge amount of work, and I still think for a crochet pattern that's 9 pages long, £6 isn't bad. Or however much it comes. I think it varies depending on which country you're in, because different countries have different taxes and stuff like that. But and I don't see all that £6. A pound of it goes towards taxes or something like that, and then I have to pay my tech editor and pay off all the yarn that I bought to make it. So if I make a profit on this shawl, I'll be astounded. But I had to make it because I wanted to. But I hope that you love it as much as me and are willing to help me by paying for it. I love it, and I have loved seeing what the testers have come up with. It's been fabulous. I'm sure that a few of you watched the Hooked on Owls podcast by Lacey, she has made a stunning version, brilliant. I was well gel when I saw it. I was like, it's better than mine. I love it. And Penny, I've forgotten your, is it Mount? I've forgotten your Instagram name. But have a look on the Ravelry project page because Lacey and Penny have both put their shawls on there. They're amazing. I love the different colours. They're fabulous. And I've got Claudia from Crochet Luna is making one as well. I think she's about to hit the border any day, and her colours are brilliant, like just so uplifting and cheerful. And I can't wait to see that one finished. And then I've had feedback from another couple of testers who are at different stages of making it, and I'm really sorry to those if you feel disgruntled because I've published before you finished. But that's one of the things I have sort of said in the past. When you sort of email testers say, you know, don't be upset that I hit publish before you've finished, because feedback at any time is crucial, and getting that photograph of your finished object on Ravelry is pretty darn important as well. And yeah. What I will say is that this probably isn't for a beginner crocheter. That's the other side. It has elements that are hard, but if you're a confident intermediate crocheter, then give it a go. And not forgetting that there is, for the border, I recorded a tutorial to show how that all works up. And it is not a step-by-step tutorial though. The swatch is just one triangle, so I'm not working through the whole thing, just the ends, because that's the important bit, and the peaks. So what you get is a small version of a triangle, essentially, in the tutorial. I'm sorry, I can't stop squishing it now. And I think it's important for me to mention that my inspiration comes from many different places, because it is. No idea is completely original. However, what you want to do with your inspiration is change it and turn it into something completely brand spanking new. And my inspiration from this came from Deanne from Addy Day Designs because of her 90-degree cowl. And I think that this shawl is far enough removed from a cowl that it is an original design. The interlocking crochet is the main makeup of Deanne's cowl, and I absolutely loved it. However, because I knew I wanted to make something with that stitch, I knew that I couldn't get the I knew I couldn't buy the pattern and look at it because I didn't want to cheat in any way. So I did a lot of research in interlocking crochet to come up with my own way of working this stitch. I have no idea if it's anything like the way Deanne worked hers up because I still haven't bought that pattern. However, she has gifted me her baseline socks, the brioche socks that she's got. And so now I've finished this, I want to make those socks, but I've got so many things on the go that I don't think I can make them anytime soon. However, they look delightfully squishy, and now I know that this is like squish squish, I can only imagine how beautiful it would be to have on your feet. What I did was link to the socks in the blog post for this, as well as other designers who use interlocking crochet as a kind of brioche technique. So if you wanted to have a look at other kind of patterns with this, then go for it. But speaking of socks, God, was it like 6 months ago or something I said that I was going to make socks throughout this year, and I've only made that one pair. I have in a little bag put aside yarn to make socks. I was going to do some Ron Strong socks. I've squished it all in here. I was going to have this for my cuffs and heels, and this was going to be the main body. I don't actually like this colour combination, but it was like basically, I know I don't really like socks, so I may as well just use any old yarn, which is the wrong attitude to have. I know I should make it with beautiful yarn to make me love the socks all the more. Not my colours. But Ron Strong socks I was supposed to make about 6 months ago and haven't even read the pattern. Don't even know where the pattern is. So socks, yeah. I was going to design my own pair as well. Best laid plans, blah blah blah. So I think, have I talked about everything? No? Oh my gosh, I thought I was at the end. One more thing. Oh, two more things. Question. I've got a question for you, because I was talking with Faye from the Crochet Circle podcast about a couple of different sort of design issues or queries. They're not issues, but I was just wondering, if you are in the US, do you like US terms in your patterns? Is it an essential thing? Because I so far don't have US terms in any of my patterns, and I'm thinking whether or not I should. Like, would you be put off of buying a pattern if it's UK terms only, for example? I don't think it would be too hard to do, but I don't know, and I'm not sure if Ravelry can tell you like statistics on what sells better and stuff like that, because for me, I'm sort of like, I will happily interchange between the two. If I buy a pattern and it's US, then I've got no problem with that. If I buy a UK pattern, I've got no problem with that. I follow both relatively easily. Only once have I got confused when it was in a book, and nowhere in that book did it tell you that it was US terms. Was it UK terms? Whatever it was, the pattern book did not say, and it was right when I was a beginner and I didn't know what to look for to find out what it was. And I tried to make this hat and it went completely wrong because I'd gotten the terms wrong. So for beginners, yeah, it would be a bit of an annoying thing. But what are your thoughts on that matter? And then lastly, I've got my knit crate, which I was supposed to post a picture on Instagram on. I haven't done it. But this month is Squishy Aran worsted weight, bouncy worsted weight, 100% superwash merino, and you get two with this which I think is a standard shawl one. They do a sock one, don't they? And they do a couple of luxury boxes as well. So this is the $24 one, or however much it is. But I want to make at some point the triangle cowl that I made ages ago, but with two skeins of an Aran or worsted, looks Aran, which I think, because I think it's the same thing, or thin manner, isn't I made a cowl, a triangle cowl with 100 grams of Aran weight yarn last year, and it came sort of like, it was a petite cowl, and I didn't think that was enough. Double it up, however, and I think you've got yourself a good, nice neck warmer. But with the pattern they've provided, it's actually yoga socks. But I've never done yoga in my life. If they added toes and a heel to that, I might have made them. I probably could do that, couldn't I? They could be a pair of socks for my sock experiment. They've got a knitted beach ball cowl. Though this to me, but this looks really wintry. Doesn't look summery to me in the slightest, but I don't think it claims to be summery, but just because it's summer I thought it was probably a bit of a weird colour to use at this time of year. However, I am impressed by what you get with the Knit Crate boxes. And if you haven't, if you're going to have signed up already, you're going to have signed up with somebody else, because I'm a terrible saleswoman. But that's this month's Knit Crate, and I think I've got one more box before they decide that I am so not worth investing in. So that is me, I am done. Wow, that felt really difficult. I felt like I have no idea what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for over a year. How is it that I am still all over the place? How? No idea. It's worn me out. Bobble tutorial Game of Thrones. We shall see, because it's the summer holidays from next week, 6 weeks, and if I get a chance to do that, it will be a miracle. But my boys are usually very good, and they might give me an hour in which to do it, but I don't know. I could do it tomorrow afternoon actually. Oh, I'm so hot, so hot. Because of the summer holidays, I don't know if I will be regularly podcasting over the next 6 weeks. I'll try my best to pop by at least once. Last year I managed to do, I think I managed to stay on track. So we'll see. I don't know. But I just thought, you know, if I'm absent, you know why. Right, if you've managed to stick with me that long, thank you. Well done you. I'll see you again next time. Thank you very much. Cheerio. Bye bye.